is one of my favorite hip mobility exercises. It's called a controlled articular rotation of the hip. When you're learning this, I do recommend to have a wall or a counter, something that you can lightly hold on to for support. And I should also mention that throughout the exercise, try your best to keep everything else still aside from the hip that you're mobilizing. So one cue that I like to give is those little bones that stick out at the front of your hip, your ASISs, try to keep them parallel the whole time. All right, and let's begin. So to start, we inhale and irradiate tension down your neck, your trunk, your core, the leg that you're going to balance on. Really think about engaging the quads, the calves, and the feet on that side. Irradiate tension out into your arms and be stiff with those. And again, this is all to isolate the movement to this hip. So let's begin. We'll proceed slowly. Bring your knee up into hip flexion as high as you can. And then external rotation. Then internal rotation, rotate that femur down, that one's a tricky one. Then go back into hip extension and then swing in and through. And then we reverse directions. So you'll go straight back and then internally rotate, externally rotate, back to the midline and down. And let's go again. So you come up into hip flexion, external rotation, internal rotation, extension, and scoop in and through, and then reverse, go straight back into extension, internal rotation, external rotation, back to the middle and down. Let's do one more without me talking to distract you. I promise that the more you do, the less awkward it feels and the easier it gets. So do those daily, try to make it a smooth movement, and hopefully it helps your hips. Here's a view from the side. And now I'll show you a variation that you can do from your hands and knees. The same principles apply where you want to keep your core and the other limbs stable and unmoving, and try not to compensate for the hip movement by rotating or hyperextending through your low back. Go flexion, external rotation, internal rotation, extension, try not to arch through your low back, and then scoop in and through back to flexion, and then reverse. So you go into extension, internal rotation, external rotation, midline, and again, up into flexion, external rotation, internal rotation, hip extension, scoop in and through, and reverse. Straight back, internally rotate, externally rotate, in and down. You can also do this exercise in side lying. I have the bottom knee bent, and as with the other positions, try not to rotate through your spine throughout this movement. All right, here we go. So you go into flexion, external rotation, internal rotation, extension, and then scoop back through to the beginning, and then reverse directions. So you go into extension, internal rotation, external rotation, back to middle, and reset. Again, flexion, external rotation, internal rotation, extension, scoop through to flexion, and now reverse. Go back into extension, internal rotation, external rotation, in and down. And again, try to make it a smooth movement.